country.
What is your name?
My name is Candia. The Latino names are always long. It's not only first name and second name. Mother's name, father's name first, and mother's name then. That's why.
And Mr. Candia, where are you from?
I'm from Bolivia in South America.
South America.
That's cool. How long have you lived in the U.S.?
Exactly 10 years. I came in June 2001.
What made you decide to relocate to the United States?
Oh, difficult question. I worked as an engineer in Bolivia for 25 years, and after that I started my own business. And because of some political reasons, they decided to close my business. The government decided to close my business. So in some moment I was without any activity. So I said, okay, let's go to change activities.
Yeah. What city do you currently live in?
I'm living in PG, Pacific Grove, yeah, since I came.
Do you have family here?
Yes, I have my mother who lives part of the year here, and I have two brothers.
Do you have any children?
Oh yes, I have two. Alejandra, who is 32 years old, and Mauricio, who is 27.
Are they both American citizens?
No, they are Bolivians.
Bolivians.
They live in Bolivia.
Do you visit them?
Oh yeah, very often, every single year. And I have also a granddaughter, so I'm obsessive grandfather, and I like to go every year to spend Christmas at least.
So then do you guys Skype?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Really?
Yes, especially with my little girl. I love to see her every day.
That's cool.
That's nice to have also Skype. You know,
Yeah.
about it also.
Have they come here to visit you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time we went to Disneyland to see this wonderful park.
That's so cool.
Bet they loved it. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Childhood memory? I have a lot, but I would say that I learned how to play basketball when I was 3 or 4 years old, and I was part of one national team of basketball for kids, and we had such a wonderful time. I think this is one of my best memories from my childhood.
So then did your basketball team travel and play around Bolivia, or did they travel to different
we went to
countries?
Argentina, Peru, and Chile. So we were all of the team was kids for 6, 7, and 8 years old.
What is the national sport of Bolivia?
It's soccer.
Soccer?
Yeah.
So...
But at that time, because Tarija is the place where I used to live during my childhood, it's very well known because of basketball. So everybody plays basketball.
So then did you also play soccer?
Yes, oh yeah.
Do your parents like soccer?
My parents love soccer, yes.
Would they prefer soccer over basketball?
They prefer soccer over basketball, yes.
Can you tell us about the process it took you to relocate to the U.S.?
Yes. As usual, when you come to this country, you have a cultural shock. The first 2 or 3 months is the honeymoon stage, when everything looks nice and friendly. But I would say that there are 2 things that impressed me at the beginning. Was the streets, so clean, these restaurants, amazing, so clean, everything looks so clean. And people look like, for me, it was something so friendly. People look so friendly. So nice. How are you doing? Nice, very good. But then, after years later, I realized that it's only a mask. It's not real. It's something that changed with the time. I lived 10 years in PG, and I never seen my neighbors because they don't want to share with me. This is a big difference. This is the first thing. The second is the status. Here, unlike Spanish-speaking countries, you have a status in terms of your profession, in terms of who you are. It's funny because I mean, my first career is engineering, and now it sounds for me funny when I met people in the streets and said, "Engineer Candia, how are you?" I forgot I was engineer, because here there is no difference. When I finished my master programs at CCUB, I was shocked when the students talk with the professors or teachers by their names. "Hi, John, how are you doing?" Oh, I cannot do that. It's part of my culture. Even now, I'm now a American citizen, but doesn't matter. My nature is Bolivia, and I'm still trying to take it in. I don't assimilate 100%. So there are different elements: streets, clean, honeymoon, friendship, and different status. There is no difference. I feel that the janitor or the president are in the same level in the United States. There is no status, which is part of the Latin culture. That we came from the Romans, and the Spaniards also had this kind of culture. We got all this kind of background in culture because of the Spaniards. So the Spaniards, we got that. So it's so different than the Anglo.
You mentioned that you find it strange that students call their professors by their first names. Do you think it's because in Latin American countries, you address your elders by sir or Mrs. and then their last name?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Not only that, only for the title. If it's engineer or it's economist or attorney or whatever it is, doctor or engineer or architect or whatever is the profession. This is the famous do and do nots of different countries.
what is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal?
Meal.
I love a typical Bolivian meal. It's we call plato paseño, which is a dish made in La Paz, which is the capital of Bolivia, and it's very, I would say, dish from the Aymaras, which is part of my culture also. Quotation, maybe it's one of the oldest cultures in the world. And Aymara, it's altiplano. It's a flat land without no vegetation, no plants, and it's basically corn with cheese and some kind of beans. That's one of my favorite meals.
That sounds good.
What is your favorite, quote unquote, Americanized meal?
American meal. I love turkey.
Turkey?
Oh yeah.
So you
especially Thanksgiving.
think-
Oh,
So
Do-
you're probably excited.
no. Yes.
So do people in Bolivia celebrate Thanksgiving?
No, we don't.
Is there an equivalent to Thanksgiving?
No, we don't. No, we don't have Thanksgiving. We have the Day of the Race in October the 12th, which is the day when Christopher Columbus got Santo Domingo and discovered America. That's the it's different. It's not the pilgrims, all the things that you have here. It's different.
So then do people in Bolivia celebrate Christmas?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were, because now the things are changing in Bolivia. We have a president who is also the first indigenous president after 450 years in Bolivia. Is the first president that's really native, and but most of the population is Catholic.
Catholic?
What are some of your hobbies?
My hobbies? Oh, I became a fan for the computers. It's interesting because my first career is engineering, but I studied engineering when the computers were the size of this room.
Wow.
I remember that. And
No,
we used, I guess it's big.
No.
You remember these punch cards? Are you familiar with that? No, you're not. So we used to introduce to the computer these punch cards in order to do simple multiplication stuff. I remember my first program in computers was to solve 320 times 20, That was my project in engineering when I was studying. Then, well, of course, yeah, I started to upgrade my knowledge about computers, but I love computers, and I think that it's a great thing that we have now.
Speaking of computers, were you a fan of Steve? Is it Jobs?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think he was a great guy. I mean, it's amazing how he changed the world. It's amazing. I mean, it's difficult to understand how great was that mind, how to create these kind of things that we enjoy with your camera.
What is your current profession?
Teaching. I'm teaching Spanish now. I got my credentials. That was the first time that I worked here. Then I got my master's in education, and that's why I'm working.
So did you get your credentials and your master's at CSUMB?
Yeah.
That's cool. What was it like learning English?
Oh, that's one of my challenges at the beginning. You know, when you live in a country, talking about the status and the difference between America and Bolivia, I used to run one of the biggest smelting company in Bolivia, which is, Bolivia is a producer of one of the most important minerals that we have is tin. And the company that I used to be the director was with 2,500 people. That was the dimension of the company. And of course, at that time, it was so easy for me to have my translators and to solve all my problems with my helpers. So people who study English just for translate. So I had a lot of international meetings with people trying to sell my product. I came many times to New York, to Europe, and trying to sell. But I never had problems with English. Because I didn't care. I mean, I had people who were working for me.
Yeah.
When I came here, that was the challenge to start. I remember one of my professors here at CSUMB said, okay, guys, now you have a homework. You know, a book with 500 pages to read for a weekend. It was a nightmare for me because it was not my language. And to outline the book for the Monday, it was a very difficult challenge. So it was a difficult process. It was, especially because English is not phonetic, like in Spanish is not like you guys have different short and long vowels, and it's so difficult to understand.
What is it like to teach Spanish?
I love to teach Spanish. I learned my language more than I supposed to. I thought, I think that is a language that I can teach. You know. I would say that I am a good reader. I read since I was little, and I don't know how many books I read, but I said it's easy. But teaching language is a different story. Grammar. You speak the language without knowing that there are a lot of grammar beyond that. So teaching Spanish was a great experience, and I'm enjoying that.
That's cool.
Cool.
That's all there.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I hope you are more or less happy with this.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so
You
much.
are welcome.